Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at CRCL Internet. It is time for another update. Additionally, an update was requested, so I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now on this chart we have been tracking with higher likelihood the bearish interpretation, especially since this structure to the upside has only formed in 3 waves. Yeah, we had this as a wave 1 but only in 3 waves. And we did have the area of support that would allow us to track still continuation higher with a decently higher likelihood than breaking below the 78.6% retracement, which right now is the case. We broke below the relevant support areas and we need to be prepared for an actual extension into new all-time lows. And not only that, we actually even formed a quite serious extension to the downside where I may be able to be tracking this as a 5-wave move down if we are to complete this 5th wave in a timely and structural manner. And that means that we form an ABC structure and it is done. Now in the previous video we were tracking the relevant resistance areas that would have allowed us to determine if broken that this direct movement to the downside is likely done. But since we had only managed also here in the shorter time frame to only form a 3-wave pattern to the upside, the likelihood of that being the case was also quite decreased. We were tracking, however, the relevant areas of support for a possible retracement in wave 2, but clearly these didn't work out. And not only that, here in the shorter time frame, in the previous video, we also had the resistance levels relevant for the downtrend continuing, and I believe we have recorded the video in the previous video, the previous day, the day before we had actually topped here in the wave B, where we had the resistance area, we were favoring the downside, and it seems we have followed through. And in this case, I may be looking here in the yellow scenario still for an extension within this wave C, where I am looking to form a 5-wave structure to the downside in this wave C. Now, depending on how this pattern unfolds to the downside, I may actually need to be tracking a different pattern completely. And in that case, I have even added an alternate scenario for the downtrend that is forming here, where instead of actually even considering this an actual wave 3 as we do in the yellow interpretation, I am looking at the possibility of having this as the wave A down, having here a wave B up instead, and then unfolding a wave C of an even much larger wave 3 to the downside. And in the end, I would still be looking for a 5-wave pattern to the downside to be forming. But we should be prepared for quite serious extensions still, because I believe within the structure that has formed to the downside, it is more likely than not that we are in the orange interpretation, not in the yellow scenario in which we would actually form something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and it would be done. Now, it could still work out and it will heavily depend based on the internals of this latest development, this latest movement to the downside will be able to tell us once complete if it really is a wave C where we have a 5-wave structure, or if it is part of an ending diagonal within the larger wave C in orange. Because in that case, I would really only expect to form a 3-wave structure to the downside within this wave 3 internally, And here we have the wave A marked, where I marked the bottom as being this low. We have here a tiny wave B, and then I'm tracking an impulse here in the wave C to the downside. Other interpretations could work. I could even argue that this wave A actually topped here, and then we may have an even much further extended wave C to the downside. Now, we will be able to determine which exact pattern it is once we actually manage to break some areas of resistance, but as long as we are still under the pressure to push lower, under the pressure of the resistance area for even the current impulse. I have a 1, 2, and then a very large 3rd wave that even hasn't even finished yet, and then I would expect a 4th and a 5th. If we form this bottom and we push higher in a wave 4 and still extend even lower, well, I would need to adjust the strategy, the count that we are tracking, but in the end we will be looking for continuation lower as long as we stay below the relevant resistance areas. And currently I won't even be tracking this 1, 2 setup, because within this movement down I actually still expect like probably even 2 additional lows where I would probably be looking here at a 1, 2, another 1, 2 here, a third wave down, fourth wave up, fifth wave down. Yeah, I'm looking here for an internal fifth wave, an additional wave 5, and then another 4-5 pattern at least, because I could even argue that this is another 1-2 setup here. So what I will be tracking internally is something like a 1, 2, 3, fourth, and the fifth to be unfolding right now, where in this case we can actually even look for the relevant resistance levels in a wave 4, and they would be between the $85.7 level all the way up to the $90.7 level. And if we manage to actually break above the $90.7 level, the 50% retracement, well, we should actually start considering a larger ending diagonal within this wave C, where, yeah, the third wave would already be complete. But in the end, I would still be looking for lower prices. I would just need to adjust the resistance area and, for example, allow all the way up to the $98.4 level for continuation to the downside. Now, depending on which of these paths we will follow, at the moment it could work with either of them, we will be able to determine how many lows we should expect within this structure. And yeah, within the wave C in yellow, honestly, I would probably be looking here at a 1, 2, and then still, yeah, actually maybe even this as a 1, 2, and then this as a third wave down. But within this wave 3, I would probably still expect this continuation lower, where I would still like to see a couple of additional lows. Yeah, so these scenarios do kind of overlap in the terms that they both expect further downside, but the exact structure within which this pattern is developing is a little bit more difficult to track down. But right now, yeah, the pressure is still down, and if anything, the momentum is even increasing at this point, where, yeah, I believe we are in a wave 3 basically, if not a wave 3 of the larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the wave C in yellow, at least within a wave 3 within an internal wave C to the downside. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.